right, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:03. Robin and Judy, thank you for joining us on Zoom. There's no public input, correspondence and announcements. I have a few things to share with you. Our fellow board member, Ted Stevenson, has chosen not to take another term with the town. And our fellow board member, Mary Spain, has notified Megan and myself that she also will be resigning from our board. But at this time, it is not official because she has not sent the letter to the town clerk. So, Sue, I would like the minutes to reflect our sincere thanks to both Ted and Mary for all their efforts and commitment to our board over the years. And they certainly both will be missed, and we appreciate all that they have done. And we do hope they stay involved in all of our endeavors, and hopefully they all show up for our golf event. Okay. Moving on, approval of the minutes from the December 13th meeting. I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Connie, thank you. A second?
A second.
Linda, thank you. Any discussion or questions about the minutes? All those in favor of accepting the minutes from December 13th signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Great, thank you so much. Treasurer's report, Tia?
We had 2 months worth of treasurer's reports. I think they were fairly explanatory unless, does anyone have any questions?
I like the new added thing where you wrote down no activity this month.
Yes.
It helps a whole lot.
Good, good. I've been trying to remember to do that. Thank you.
It does take a minute to look at the numbers though.
Yes,
To go back to the number before and start from there.
Right.
But, yeah, nice job, Tia.
so there's,
All four at once, or what? Do we have all four at once?
I think we just accept them all.
I'll make a motion that we accept treasurers for the 2 treasurers reports
For December and January.
for December and January.
We'll say.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Jan, Friends of the Library.
We had our annual meeting last week. Thank you for those of you who were able to join us. And our slate of officers is pretty much the same, that we are still down a treasurer. So if anybody knows anybody who wants to become treasurer of the Friends, have them contact me. I was happy today to give 2 checks to Megan for the library. One for $2,500 for programming, and one for $37,500 for the teen grant for the youth program.
Yes, which we are very excited about.
Yes.
Thank you.
So that was so exciting to write that out. Wow. Yeah, exactly. I did it.
So that is the first installment from that?
Yes, it is. And hopefully in the future, we'll be getting those electronically. And that's it.
Right, thank you for that.
Pleasure.
Questions on the monthly statistics?
It does look good. Those green bars are getting bigger,
They're
and
green
they're
bars.
much bigger than the red bars. Well, that's good.
Yes, so just to share the dip that you're seeing in e-content, is really the loss of the Acorn TV app. So, they were, I believe Overdrive took that over, and Overdrive like doesn't do, instant access. So now we have to pay independently for each copyright, which defeats the purpose of having Acorn TV, which allow people select for a mystery show they liked. So we're still trying to figure out what to do with those funds and select a service that will bring those statistics back up and satisfy people who've lost the service and enjoyed it. So that's why you see that steady decline over the last 6 months, because we don't have the service anymore. But yeah, we have been very busy the last 2 weeks. It's so nice to see the other day, all the tables in the lobby were in use. The children's department was full. Upstairs staff looked overwhelmed by all the people coming and going, because it's been a long time since we've had that. And it's been consistent for the last 2 weeks, so it wasn't just a blip. It looks like people are coming back. And we're reserving rooms. Every room is full tonight. I would say the majority of the time now, 50 to 75% of the rooms are in use during library hours. Any questions on the spending report? Director's report. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, that thing is cool.
Yes.
And the other thing is cool too, the thing that you showed me, the next.
This one.
That's cool.
The self-check-in?
Yes.
Oh my
Check it
God.
So currently, all the new items are tagged. So it is fun when we see someone checking out new items to show them that when they put it on the pad, everything automatically comes up. Our goal is the first floor, because the majority of people who come in this building use the first floor. So we're targeting that. We have a very ambitious date for finishing the first floor. But staff are really enthusiastic and they're really pushing to get it done. So I feel like we can hit this goal. Once it's done, we'll move to the second floor. We're doing one final round of weeding the adult collection, because we really don't want to tag books that we're going to end up weeding in 6 months. It's just not cost effective. We're doing one last round of weeding to clean it up. And this, we're really enjoying it. It's just a lot easier. Our old self-checkouts would shut down throughout the day and freeze up. We were continually restarting them. So it's nice to have a machine that when someone walks up to, works when they walk up to. But so right now that is the priority. The outdoor system, we're not training staff on until mid to late February. We want to make sure everyone understands how to use all the RFID equipment before we switch them over to learning this system. My concern is being understaffed, having a lot of activity in the building again, to put 2 different systems for the staff that require training and instruction just seems like a lot right now. So we're spreading them out.
I think another advantage for that will be nicer weather too. People are more apt to reserve the book and want to run out together.
Yeah. So, and that's it.
Yeah, I do.
Well, the other, and it's funny you say that, because the other conversation we had was just that it'd be better to train staff on this piece of equipment when it's nicer, so they get used to making it part of their daily rotation before they have to do it on a party day. So this way, the training will start in February. We've been doing test runs on the equipment, verifying email notifications, making sure the language is correct on those, uploading the cards into the system. So there's a lot of stuff happening in the background to get us ready to train staff. But the goal is March 1st to roll this out. And then AARP taxing is starting up again. If anyone's interested, you can make your appointment online. So we're getting a nice response to that. Appointments are filling up. And then lastly, we have, I believe, 23 candidates now for the 2 positions. We have a very diverse group with an array of different backgrounds. So it's going to be an interesting interview process. So we always send out pre-interview questions to all of our candidates for 2 reasons. One, to give them an idea of what we're looking for, but oftentimes too, people on their resume don't always include things that would be really helpful. Like sometimes people have a side business they don't think to put on a resume for the library, not realizing that libraries are very interested in how you market yourself and you run a small business. So by sending out a questionnaire, we tend to get a lot more information. Very helpful to me. So we've sent those out. We've got the majority of them back. So at the end of this week, we'll start setting up interviews.
Our budget for next year, we do have, some information to share with you. Megan, do you want to explain it? And then,
So I made an error on one of the formulas at the bottom of the spreadsheet. So all of the amounts that were listed that you approved are correct. However, the formula in the bottom box broke when we were editing it during the finance committee. And I did not realize it broke. It was supposed to show the percentage increase. So what we all saw was 1.2%. But the formula that makes it a percentage wasn't there anymore. So now it's just showing the overall budget from one year to the next. So when it showed 1.2, it meant 2.12%. So all the line items you approved were correct, but the actual percentage increase is 2.12. So when we went before the Matt and Brad, we presented it at that 2.12, but they also know that I had to come back to the board and discuss with you this error. So we put it in at 2.12, knowing that it's a lot easier to reduce the budget than it is to increase it later. Derek, back to you.
So when you presented it to Matt and Brad.
Yep.
What was their response? Did they?
They were very happy with it. I mean, agree?
They felt that it was a good budget, a fair budget, and they didn't question the 2.12. When we explained the error, it's really just a typo type of thing.
And since we built the budget, we did have a phone call with John Shea regarding upcoming union, and we did ask what negotiations are going for. And he said unions are coming in really high with the offers, or with their salary increases. So we should prepare to see 6%.
What?
I'm just gonna write that down.
Which we cannot.
Oh.
Well, it's not even sustainable anywhere, but. So, he said that's what.
So
he
you
did.
presented 2.12.
Yes.
For the overall budget. And the plan was to give 2.25% increases, because that was what we estimated salary increases really based on the previous contract. And we told John, that's our number. So we just want to make sure that you're aware that when we get to that point where we start the renegotiation, we may get numbers like that. So I think that 2.12 wasn't my original intention. Yeah, yes. Thankfully, Chris thoroughly looked over the budget and they really looked at our salary numbers and pointed out some places where we could falter if we had to increase the salary line. So when the finance committee made these changes, I agree they were very effective changes. It was just unfortunate that the formula at the bottom did have that error. Does anybody have concerns with moving forward? You know, now it's that has been approved, knowing now it's not 1.2 or 2.12.
Question. How many employees are part of the union? Is everyone or a small tiny percent,
I'm
right?
not supervising
And
the
Barbara.
what?
And Barbara.
Oh, yes, sorry, she's considered a confidential employee, she's not part of the union, and she
Okay.
retained.
And are the rest of them union?
Full-time, part-timers, and she's full-time.
How many is that?
About 16.
So when they hear that figure,
They didn't hear it. They heard 2.12. They didn't hear what you said.
Okay, when you say that, who are you alluding to, Matt and Brad? Is that who you're-
no, I'm thinking, the union guys,
No, I think-
that have turned to 6%.
But I
and
don't
they're
think
saying
the employees heard that.
2.5.
They did not hear this. This was a comment from John. Megan and I talked to him, sort of laying the groundwork because we know we have negotiations ahead of us. And he just said that it's early in the year, but he is seeing where contracts are coming in with big numbers for anybody's gonna get it. But he's just saying, be aware that it is gonna be a process this year. And I think that's where he was coming from.
Yes, no, I absolutely agree.
And he understands our limitations. And when Megan and I talked with Brad and Matt, I think we had a good conversation. I think we laid a good base for our problems with union commitments. The union is here to stay, and if we don't have the flexibility when we have a bottom line budget and we have, little control on how many dollars they give us. And then we also were concerned about the legal costs. So I think Brad and Matt had a better understanding of what we're facing. I felt good leaving the meeting. I think they were receptive, knowing that the library is different now than it was 2 or 3 years ago because of the union. And I felt they were supportive. But, it's not their decision, it's the Board of Finance decision. So we got a big part ahead of us.
And, they're presenting the budgets a little different this year. I really like how they're presenting the budgets this year. They're putting together one-page documents as cover sheets for each department to make it a little easier for finance to see each department big picture, as opposed to the past where they get these big packets and they have to rifle through everything and there's not a lot of detail. The way it's designed this year, they get to see each line, how is net line, and why there's a change to it. So they're getting a lot more information up front, which I think will help in the process. And then the other thing is the budget presentations are scheduled for February 1st between 7 and 9. We don't know where we are in that yet. When the agenda comes out, I will forward that on to everyone so you can see. It's also going to be in the senior center this year.
Cafeteria? Yeah, cafeteria.
I believe it's a bigger space. They'll be able to set up the recording equipment. So to my knowledge, at this point, it's a hybrid meeting. You can attend from home or in person. And we will plan to go. Absolutely.
But we'll keep you better informed if we know more.
Any questions or concerns?
Are we concerned about Board of Finance?
We are, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of new faces.
Right.
So we don't have a past history to see what their concerns are. So in the past, we had an idea of what their concerns are. We were prepared to address those right off the bat. This year, we don't have that information. So we kind of have to do a very broad presentation and see what their questions are, and then, prepare for the future. But the budget presentation is going to be short and to the point, and now that they're getting the fact sheet, there's not as much of a need for us to lay everything out. However, we're going to do like a 3-minute video just showing this is what the budget pays for. These are all the services we currently provide. These are all the uses of the staff at this time. So these funds intact the services that we currently provide.
The city has a union too, right?
Is that
Town.
I mean, the town.
There's various unions for different departments, yeah.
Okay, so that's good in that they understand what's going on.
We're just one more small union growing the whole thing. Okay,
anything else?
no. Any other questions for Megan?
So do we need to vote on this budget or that
I
was
don't think
just
so, because the
information?
bottom line did not change, unless any board member feels they want to question the change, it was really a partial change.
I think it was standard of 2% increases.
So instead of 1.2, it's 2.1.
Yeah, still quite reasonable. The price of everything in the world is still.
But it's the budget that we passed that we felt was the right thing for the library, if we stand behind it.
And I think we had a strong case for the last year. We had 0% increase. This is really almost 1% per year. So I think we have an argument. Good.
And we've got all those utilization statistics, which really, that really shows the progress, from what happened to, it's not that we need to show that in the budget presentation, but as backup if people asking about that. We can talk about where we were before the pandemic, what happened in the pandemic, and what our recovery now looks like.
And there are conversations we're starting to have, it's looking at our analytics inside, what we really should be tracking now. You know, we never tracked meeting room usage. There was no need to. But now that is something we should be paying attention to, because the need for space has grown so drastically in the last year. We are housing groups that we never imagined we would. Monday through Friday, the high school, the special ed department or the tutoring department utilizes our library. Every day at 9:30 in the morning, we let in tutors and the bus drops off students, and they book our children from 9 to 1 o'clock. You know, that's something we were never doing prior to COVID. On Fridays now, the Flex program comes over and we run an hour-long program for this technology program for the morning, and then they spend the rest of the time in the teen department browsing and checking out books. There's a lot of different groups coming through now, and a real problem is where we fit them all. So that is the statistic we should start tracking, since the need has changed.
I have to look at our policy.
Sure, Mary.
Well, I'm glad we did it. We were proactive.
Yes.
We were ready for it, so that's a good thing, yeah. Robin and Judy, do you have any questions? Okay. Okay, moving on to committee reports. Nominating committee, Robin?
Okay, well, fortunately, all of our present officers have agreed to continue to serve in their present capacities. So we have Mary O'Leary for president, Connie Kaufman for vice president, Tim Murphy for treasurer, and Sue Morton for secretary. So I'll put forward that slate.
We need a second. What I said.
Mary, I didn't hear you.
We need a second if it's a committee recommendation.
I never remember. I think not, but
I think not either.
But- couldn't hurt.
Second, just to cover the letter of the law.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, and so I'll just correct that it's chair and vice chair, not president.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. We're called a lot of things. Any other nominations from the floor? Hearing none, I'll ask for a vote on this recommended slate. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Well, thank you for your vote of confidence, and we will be happy to serve another year, knowing that we cannot serve another year. I appreciate all your support. You're swell to work with. So, thank you, Robin, and thank you for your efforts.
Thank you, Mary, for yours and the rest of the executive committee.
Okay, Development Committee, Robin.
Okay.
Okay, so development committee. So, as you know, we are working on the mini golf event, which is coming up on March 18th and 19th. We've been doing a pretty darn good job, I think, getting sponsors. I'm just gonna pull up, we're still waiting on a couple, but I'm just gonna give you a count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have 9 paid so far out of 18, and we have another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, another 8 fully committed, waiting on payment, and a couple that are still wishy-washy. But it looks like we're pretty close to filling all of that. 9 plus 8, 17, right? So we really like to fill 18 holes plus a ball return plus maybe another hole or 2. So I see making changes on it. That one's not fully confirmed yet. I know, I see. But we're definitely getting closer, which is exciting. And we are starting our media campaign blitz already. So signage boards here, information going out to the schools to get the kids to come to our Saturday event. Our food sponsors are confirmed. We are still looking for a couple of things, so any help from the board would be appreciated. If you've been in contact with any sponsors that are maybes, maybe we could try and get them as yeses. That's one. And then we are looking for a possible beer sponsor. Our beer sponsor from last year is not doing it this time. So I don't know if anyone knows anyone of these local breweries, like Charter Oak is one of them, right here on Shelter Rock Road. We'd love some contacts, you know, to talk to them.
And I'm kind of out of commission, so I really can't do it right at this point. So if somebody could pick up the slack a little bit and run to these places, it would be greatly appreciated. And, that's all.
Okay, anyone have a contact at the new Edison Kitchen? For some reason, in the back of my mind, I think he also owns a brewery. I don't know him.
And the other thing is, Paul Rocky's wife does something with distillery.
Limoncello or something.
She does something, so,
That's,
I mean, that's a fallback.
It's a whiskey.
It's Litchfield.
Yeah,
So that, I think, was through John.
Was it through Jonathan? Well, that's what I said, is so maybe you could talk to Jonathan and see if he knows of somebody.
Well, did Jonathan get the breweries for us when we did the wine?
He did, he did,
So maybe Jonathan might know of somebody. We could
He
reach
did.
out to.
but I know, Sharon Bob is Litchfield Distillery. Okay. And I think Jonathan did, yeah, okay. That one probably.
All right, so, and that's basically it as far as the event. So at our next meeting, that's like 2-3 weeks before the event. So we'll start really bugging you to get the word out, and sell tickets, because that really is the next step. After we sell sponsors is to sell tickets to the event.
We're making the tickets in mass this year, because in the past, most people either paid online or never picked up their tickets. So every year I just stack like 100 tickets left over in my office with scrap paper. So we're gonna print them internally this year. That way we only print what we need. We negotiated a photocopier contract, and the pricing for our photocopies is drastically dropped. So this is something we can definitely handle. So the design was finished today. We're gonna be printing this week. So I will get Robin. Tickets. The website, the digital signage board has the photo gallery with all the sponsors. That's going to be uploaded on our website this year. We're just tweaking the widget from last spring now, but that should be up by the midweek.
And when you do that, why don't we send a little blippy to all the businesses to check it out? You know,
Okay.
can you
I
send
don't
an
have
email?
contact information. for
Oh,
them.
we don't? Oh.
But, you know, everyone's certainly gonna let their businesses know if they see them.
Okay.
So the save the date is going to the schools. It's gonna go out this Friday on the newsletter. We're not sending it to the Board of Ed office till Wednesday, with the hope that we might get a few more checks in, so we can add businesses to the list. So if you know of anybody who is toying with dropping it off, or, you know, wants an alternative to writing a check and wants to pay for like Square, please let me know so I can get that set up, and I'll get their business onto the flyer right away before it goes out.
I have one question. Are we going to ask them to wear masks? It might come up when we're selling tickets.
I think that's a later date.
Yeah, I think I think the answer can be, might not, but we're going to go with whatever safety protocols.
Well, we're a town building too, so if there's a mask mandate for the town buildings, then we have to.
I said we could just stall on that question.
So Robin, do you have other places that you would like other board members to inquire of you? Have anything else to add?
There are a few board members that are still waiting to hear on some places, so I don't think I mean, it looks like most of these places have been called on, at least that's what I've heard. Except maybe a sports dome we went to.
Yeah, I couldn't get in the door.
Epic Driving School, I don't know if anyone's done that one from our list, but otherwise, I think from this list that we put out, most places, maybe not Ingersoll Auto, is that? So to me, I think the only two places on that original list are Epic Driving School and Ingersoll. So if anyone wants to go, but I don't think it's that mandatory. Right now, it looks like if everyone that is on the fence jumps on, we've done it, and if not, we're still left one of it, which is really good for this time of year.
If we can get
No
everyone
development.
in, if
What?
we can get everyone confirmed in the next week or two, we could get all the marketing done now. You know, right now, I'm more like to order a banner. Don't really want to order a banner, we only have the sponsors. So there are things we have to be done until we have all businesses. As soon as we do the development.
Right.
That'll make us sell tickets too much. The banner is out.
So if you
Unless we sell tickets, guys, this isn't gonna work either.
So if you've reached out to any of these that we're still waiting to get money from, that would be a good follow-up. So Colonial Subaru,
It's got a check tomorrow. Pick it up.
perfect. Birds Books, Toyer,
I'll call it tomorrow.
you don't have to. Lions Club, which we just talked about. UK, did you get their money?
Well, they only agree on the weekend, they usually issue the checks in case.
She sent something electronically. Ballard Valley Tire, they're in, right? You said, so we need their check. Royal Choice Limo,
Oh, he didn't send it yet?
no. Ace
Okay.
Hardware is me. So that, yeah. We're really close. We're really close. And then it's a matter of securing the ROTC kids, putting together our lists, just what we have to do in our meetings to get organized, and then maybe we'll have different assignments.
With ROTC, I'm gonna wait till probably the beginning of next week because that's the normal.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's fine.
that's on Wednesday.
Yeah, so. Yeah, ROTC kids, so we'll have our next meeting, and then we'll have probably some assignments maybe for you guys as the event gets closer at the next meeting. We're pretty on top of this. Which is-
Right, nothing's come through, Claire, but I don't know if they have the information to get online.
All right, I'll show you what she sent me.
Okay, we'll do it after.
All right. All right, so
This is the flyer, or is this from last?
no, that's the flyer. That's,
That's not a flyer, that's a
That's just-
promotional.
right, to show
We're gonna do
them.
a flyer, because, it doesn't say anything about food and drinks.
Well, the
There's a
flyer is
letter that
already
goes
on
with that.
What?
There's a letter that goes with that.
What do you want a flyer for?
Well, I have a lot of people I can give the flyer to try and sell
Oh,
tickets.
see, Tanya, I can't print the flyer until I have at least 2/3 of the businesses. So
Okay.
that's why, like I
Yeah,
said, I'm
that's
gonna
just-
hold off till Wednesday with the hopes of having more businesses to put on.
Okay, but my request is that you put that there's food and drinks also.
Yeah, that flyer is just for potential sponsors, to show them what decorating the hole looks like. It's not for potential golfers who are coming to the event. It's a completely different demographic, so we will definitely have something.
Tanya, when the flyers are ready, I'll email you.
Well, I'm gonna try. Okay, Robin, if you have anything else for us before the next meeting, just, we can send an email
Yes,
out to board members
yes.
to get it moving. Yeah, anything else? Robin?
No,
anything?
there's nothing else.
Okay, good, thank you. Any other issues or concerns anyone cares to bring up? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. At 6:38. Chris, thank you. Secretary, good. All in favor? Thank you, Judy and Robin, for joining us.
I lost my phone.
Thank you.
That's the same as the last one.